Okay, so listen, I wanted to bring you this video like what, a week ago, but life has been lifing. Life has been doing what life does, and it has kept me away. So we're just gonna talk about it now because I was realizing I was asking myself, do I bring this video anyway? Then I was like, wait, why do I care? It's my channel. I can I can do whatever I want. it's it's so liberating. Okay, so let's just talk about it. Listen, I made a tweet, okay? Whomever I am to you, okay? Whether I am your enemy, your adversary, your friend, your person that you watch, I made a tweet, okay? And I made this tweet, and I just want to know that I tagged nobody. And I mean, I guess I could tweeted someone, but in any case, I tagged no one. I didn't tag Xbox, didn't tag PlayStation, didn't tag a single individual, okay? And yet people come to my pond. It's interesting, isn't it? Because it's like all of these people, they come here and then they argue with me, and then they want to say that I'm crying. Like I'm like, but I didn't bring you here. I didn't invite you. I didn't even tag Xbox. So it's not like you were just like you literally came to me out of your own volition for a small little point that I made, and then you want to say that it's bizarre, isn't it bizarre? Because if you see someone that is saying something where you're like, oh, he's just attention seeking, or he's engagement farming, or he's this or he's that, then you will just ignore it and then move on. I mean, that's what I do. But you come to the comment section. If you're gonna come to the comment section, welcome, come on in. But listen, skip. No one's crying. Just make your point. We can have a debate about it, and then that will be it. So this video is just going to be based on this particular tweet and the responses that I got, because I haven't been able to check Twitter in pretty much the last week, okay? I didn't really respond to it, but I saw that it got some amount of traction. Last time I saw it, I think it was about 100 likes. And I was like, you know what? Some of these responses deserve an answer. However, Twitter being the way that it is, I don't want to pay to expand characters. And you know what? I appreciate Nib on Twitter. I mean, this guy writes entire essay entries, you know, like I didn't want to do that either. So we're going to do exactly what Nib does and exactly what I do normally. And we're just going to make like a 5-hour video out of it. That's what we're going to do. I say that as if it's any better. Okay. Anyways, let's have fun. So here is the tweet that I make. Okay, no. First, let's the tweet that inspired my tweet. Okay, from Culture Crave, they say that FTC is calling Microsoft's new Xbox Game Pass standard tier a degraded product. It's exactly the sort of consumer harm they try to stop. So first, this is an interesting point, isn't it? Because the FTC is tasked with supposedly stopping, corporations from taking advantage of clients and consumers. So it was interesting seeing people go so hard against the FTC, who ostensibly have their best interest in mind. Because while you can say that what is it? While you can say that you disagree with the arguments that they make, there's a difference between disagreeing with someone and then going so hard against them when they're supposedly supposed to be on your side anyway. So in any case, that was interesting and fascinating to watch during the whole FTC trial, the CMA and everything like that. Fascinating. And the idea that it might come back again, you know what? Why not? The gaming conversation is in such a horrible place. Why not return to the FTC trial? I can't believe that I'm actually here wishing for that to happen. That's crazy. But you know what? Fuck it. You know? Fuck it. Why not? Okay, so let's go. Okay, here is my tweet that I quoted. I said, all those who supported this deal are looking silly now. You battled for $1 trillion company, and the first thing they do was sting you. Scorpion to the frog. So, obviously everybody knows what that's in reference to. That is the story about the frog and the scorpion. Scorpion wanted to cross across a lake, but obviously can't swim. So he went up to like a frog and he was like, hey, can you let me cross on your back? And then the frog was like, yeah, but you're kind of like a scorpion, you're kind of vicious, and I think you're gonna kill me. And then the scorpion was like, whoa, buddy, kill you? No way. What? Me do that? Okay, look, normally I would. However, think about it. When we are actually in swimming, right? I can't swim. If I sting you, we're both gonna die. That's mutually destructive. Why would I do that? It doesn't make any sense. So the frog was like, hey, okay, fair point. Neither of us wishes to die. Okay, hop on and we go. So they went on the lake, and then halfway through the middle, Scorpio was like, fuck it. And he stung him. He stung the frog. And then with his dying throes, the frog was like, why? Why did you sting me? Now we're both gonna die. And then Scorpio was like, yeah, it's just in my nature though, so fuck it. And that is the story, and that's what is in reference to Scorpion to the frog. So most people know that already, but just in case you didn't, that's like a fun retelling of it. Look it up, it's fantastic. Fables, I love fables, so many cool things. So that's exactly what Microsoft has done. I believe that Microsoft could have set itself up for some actual like serious ramifications with like agencies, FTCs, CMAs all across the world. Are they going to follow through on it? Probably not. Even if they did follow through, are they going to be successful in getting Microsoft to like divest and basically sell off Activision again? I don't think so. However, it will be interesting to watch, and I think it kind of needs to happen, because when you make an agreement with a government agency, as an individual, you are really held up to the standard. Like, whatever it is, if you got a grant from the city to build something in your backyard, or you got a grant from the city to restore an old house that was dilapidated, they will follow you hard on that, even though it might only be like a $10,000 or $15,000 grant, right? However, for these trillion-dollar companies, it seems that they can somehow just skate by the rules and regulations that apply to us as individuals, even though their far-reaching effects are far greater. So I think that there is something to be said about the whole, these companies are just taking the piss now. You are getting something through a regulation process with promises that you're not going to keep, and then you are then blatantly, just a few months later, doing exactly what you said you wouldn't do, and you're supposed to get away with it. That doesn't seem right. That doesn't sit right with me. I don't think it should sit right with anyone, really. Even if it's not going to be a successful, I guess, attack on Microsoft's position with Activision, Blizzard, or Game Pass, or whatever, I do think that these companies need to start holding these companies accountable. Because if me as an individual, I do anything, like I don't pay for a parking ticket, you're going to hound me for years and years and years. Why does a $1 trillion company get away with things? But anyways, that's just my feelings on the subject. Let's see how other people felt. Okay, so first of all, 798 likes. I don't know where that came from. I didn't even know that this thing had reached so many people until I got to kind of like opening up for this video. I was surprised that it reached that many, and 37 bookmarks. I don't know what they what are you guys bookmarking? Like, are you bookmarking the fact that I said Microsoft stung you? Like, I don't know. I don't know what that moment is. 100,000 views. I didn't tag anyone, so I was really shocked, actually genuinely shocked, that this went out into the world and somehow it like hit so many people. So I guess that's nice. People care or something about what I say, whatever. 172 comments, and we're gonna try to get through most of them. Now that has been an 8-minute preamble. Let's get into it. Okay, so first comment here, it says here, so Xbox raising the price and providing games day one, including now called Black Ops 6, is bad, but PlayStation that did the same and still delivers a poor service, no one will complain about it. So let's tackle this comment, okay? Over here, I told him lol because it's such a nonsensical comment anyway. Let's talk about it. Game Pass providing games day one. Okay, can I just say, let's be honest with ourselves, okay? Game Pass hasn't provided every single game from first party day one the way that they promised in years. Okay, we're gonna be honest about it. Forza Horizon 5 had an early access period where you had to pay $30 to get it like a week early or 3 days early or whatever it was. That is day one. The moment that the public can pay for entry into your product, whatever it is, that is day one. You can call it early access all you want, but it's not early access. True early access is what Hades 2 is doing. you know, with Supergiant Games. Supergiant Games with Hades 2, they do with Hades as well. But with Hades 2, right now, you can get on Steam, you can get in early access, and this will be years of early access where you're actually providing feedback. You're actually having your feedback go into the game, show up. You're basically alpha, beta, Charlie testing all of these things, right? And you're providing valuable feedback for the developers and you're helping them to build the game in real time. That is early access. This fake early access that Microsoft and a lot of other publishers have gotten, right, is this pre-order bonus, which is basically giving you, the person who pays for it, the game on day one, and then giving everybody else a delayed access. It's not early access. It's delayed. It's not early access for you. It's on-time access for you. It's delayed access for everybody else. So this notion that, you know, what is it? Hellblade 2 this didn't happen to Hellblade 2. Hellblade 2, they put there on day one. They fulfilled the Game Pass promise. Great. Forza Horizon 5 had this fake, you know, this fake day one access. It wasn't day one. Starfield wasn't day one. Halo Infinite, I don't remember, but I think it also had a similar thing where there were people that were able to basically buy their way early into the game. Don't quote me on that, however. But essentially, Microsoft, when they know that there's a title of theirs that they think is hot, they're not going to give you day one access, and they haven't done that for a long time. So you should watch out when you believe them at surface value, because again, day one access is a game where any member of the public can buy access into it. That is day one. Everything else is just delayed. So there is that. Now they talk about PlayStation did the same in terms of like they raised the prices and still delivers a poor service. No one will complain about it. Let's talk about a poor service. First let's talk about raising the prices. I don't like talking about prices being raised. I really, really don't. The reason is that at the end of the day, it doesn't really, it's not really relevant to me, because it's up to you to decide whether a price raise was worth it. If you don't think a price raise is worth it, there's no one that can convince you to spend money that you don't find the service is worth. So even when Microsoft raised the prices, I'm going to see if I can find the tweet right now, but even when they raised the prices, I didn't really care to talk about how they raised prices, because that's not an interesting conversation to me. At the end of the day, if Game Pass Ultimate is worth $20 to you, no one's going to convince you otherwise. You know, no one is going to come here and tell you like, oh no, you should only pay $17 for it. It's your money. If it's not worth it to you, again, no one's going to come and just hand you money and be like, yeah, I'll cover you the other half. So it doesn't really matter if they talk to you about pricing. Okay, so that's basically it. Now, here is a video of me talking exactly on this issue. So I'm just going to make sure that I can prep it for you guys, because I want to show that, you know, I am actually being truthful when I say I don't really care about the pricing conversation. When Sony raised their prices, I didn't really say anything about it because they didn't change anything. They just changed the prices. So at the end of the day, you decide whether that's worth it to you or not. But I see no conversation there for me, because what am I going to do? If I don't find it worth it for me, it's not worth it for me. If I find it worth it for me, then I guess that it is. As far as Sony's prices, by the way, I still don't know whether it's worth it for me, because I have it out until 2025. So it's going to be until 2025 that I have to make that decision. And I'm perfectly happy dropping down to PlayStation Essential, PlayStation Plus Essential, just to keep the online games and access to like my Essential Games library. I'm perfectly happy to do that. If Extra isn't worth it for me at that time, I'm not going to do it. And let's face it, I could even just drop off completely from PlayStation Plus for a time. First of all, I don't play that many online games. Second of all, I have lots of games to play. And third of all, they typically will offer you bonuses for coming back in, but only after you lapse. You know, they'll be like, oh, you get 40% cheaper, you know, entry if you lapse for a while, and then they're trying to win you back. So, you know, sometimes it's actually better to play hard to get and then be able to come back. But anyways, let's focus back up. Let's talk about this. I'm just laughing because I know I'm going to mess this up. Listen, the names of all of these Game Pass tiers, they are ridiculous, okay? Listen, Game Pass Ultimate costs $3 more per month. Sure, okay, cool. It costs $3 per month now in the US. It is what it is. If you find that of value, go ahead, pay it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about what anyone says. If you don't find it of value, do whatever you want. Okay, either you unsubscribe completely or you resubscribe every 2 or 3 months to play the games that you want to play, and then you can churn it as you wish. Okay, that's cool. That's a private, individual financial consideration. I don't want to talk about it. What I do want to talk about is the fact that they removed Game Pass Day. So you see there, I said it there. I don't even want to talk about it. That's your private consideration, man. If you have a lot of like disposable income and you are happy to pay the price for Game Pass, they could put out $40 a month. What do you care? You find value in it. Maybe you and your 5 children use it. Maybe you and like whatever situation you have, that's your private decision. I'm not interested in talking about pricing. I really am not. I have seen really, really expensive things. I've seen really, really affordable things. And I've seen people saying yes to expensive things and no to affordable things. And I've seen the vice versa. You can never choose or think to yourself like, oh, because this thing is only up to $50, everybody is going to accept it. No, people have things, people have values, and their priorities are not always going to align with yours. Their philosophies around consumerism or purchasing or whatever it is will not always align with yours. So for me, it's not as fruitful a conversation. So let's see what I did say. Indeed, from 2 out of the 3 tiers that I'm going to offer Game Pass with. That is not what was supposed to happen. Remember in the showcase that just happened, the showcase I gave a 10 out of 10. They kept saying Game Pass day and date. That was the entire point. But now you only get Game Pass day and date if you are on the ultimate subscription. That's not exactly what was said. That is, again, this is called Game Pass standard. This is meant to be the base level. If you tell me, hey, listen, as part of this game, let's take a look at Spider-Man 2. You can unlock all of these skins, okay, all of these suits or whatever. Okay, then I would assume, without you clarifying anything else, that you're talking about the base level of the game, just whatever the base game is. If you tell me, no, Emmanuel, you have to get the premium, platinum, geranium edition in order to be able to unlock those suits for free, then I'm going to say that's not exactly what you said, and that was an important difference, an important distinction. So I'm going to take my score of the Xbox Game Showcase from a 10, and I'm going to drop that down to a 5. Because if all of those games now are only locked behind the paywall of Ultimate and not just part of standard Game Pass, that completely changes the equation of the value that you were proposing. Changes everything. It really, really does. And I think that the community gets hung up on the wrong conversation. People are talking about the price increase. Why? It's individual. You're not going to convince someone who can't afford it that they should somehow stick with it. And you're not going to convince someone who doesn't care about the price increase to somehow feel bad about it. Talk about the fact that they just betrayed the Game Pass core promise of the ended games. That's it. Okay, well there you go. You see, again, I'm not here to be disingenuous. I'm not here to be like, oh, when Sony raises prices, I don't care. But when Microsoft does, suddenly I want to talk all about it. But I don't care whether they raise the price or not. That is, like I keep saying, an individual decision. But I do care when you do make me a promise, okay? Because I said it when I was watching the 2024 showcase. I gave it a 10 out of 10 at that time. And I said that I would have been interested in buying an Xbox specifically to play those games that I saw. And believe it or not, I followed through. I followed through on my research of it. And I found, Xbox Series X's selling for $350 for basically brand new units on Marketplace. I could easily have picked one of those up, and I was really ready to pull the trigger anyway and be like, you know what? I don't even want to play on my PC. I don't like playing on PC. It's not the vibe for me, okay? It's substandard to me. It's a substandard gaming experience. So I was going to go and buy the Xbox Series X. And then that was with the mindset or the framework of Game Pass's mind, because that is Xbox's biggest value proposition. That's the thing that they keep putting in front of you in all of these showcases and all of these things. So when this happened, that completely changed the equation for me, because a lot of people want to say that, oh, they only raised the price by $3. No, they didn't, because if you are a new person, right? Before, you could get Game Pass day and date games for $12 US a month. That was it. You could come into the Game Pass for console. I didn't really need the online access anyway, because I wasn't going to play multiplayer games on Xbox. Definitely not. So I was happy to just play the single player experiences, and that was going to be it. Call of Duty was never interesting to me. I've never been a Call of Duty player. Putting it on Game Pass isn't going to be the thing that somehow makes Call of Duty interesting to me. So that was never going to happen. I'm not interested in playing like Halo online I mean, I'm not interested in playing Halo at all. But I would not play it online, or Gears online or anything like that. So I wasn't interested in having access to the internet. I still think that Game Pass for console should have had internet access built in because it kind of screwed up their offering. But again, it would have been a fair compromise or a fine compromise or a whatever compromise for me. Whatever. $12 a month would have been fine. Now you've taken me and now you've bumped me up to $20. And as part of that bump up, you say, oh, you have more value. Now you give me online access. But I didn't care for it anyway. So if I had to choose, I would take the $12 without online access than the $20 with. But then you say, oh, well, you can play your games on PC. Mate, I will buy an Xbox just to not play games on PC. Like literally, I have a PC. It has a 3070, 64 gigs of RAM. Like it's like 8 terabytes of storage, all SSD basically, except for like one hard drive that I use for media files. Like, bro, it's like a Lian Li O11. It's an expensive PC. That's what I'm trying to say. It was expensive. It can play. It can do the job. Okay. The only part about my PC experience that would be kind of like a downgrade for gaming is probably the monitors, because I'm still stuck on 1080p monitors. But again, I use it for work. I don't use it for gaming, so that would be the only thing. And I guess I could have just bought myself a better monitor with the money that I would have paid for the Xbox if I really wanted to. But the point is, in spite of having a PC already good and ready, I would have bought an Xbox just to avoid playing on PC. Literally, that's it. So now you brought me up to $20 a month, and that's not worth it. That's not, because even if I bought the Xbox, right, and I bought the $20 per month, which would be much more expensive in Australia, but whatever, I don't want to rush myself playing through these games all in 1 month. I don't. I would have liked to have kept it for at least a year to be able to work through all of the Xbox catalog of games that I wanted to play. And now that's not possible anymore. Now you could say, well, you could wait for the games to come back later, down to like the classic catalog. But here's the problem. They haven't told us how long those games are going to have to be out for before they come down to the classic catalog, before they come down to Xbox Game Pass standard. So for me, effectively, you bump me up to $20 a month, and no, I'm not going to pay for that. I'm not going to buy an Xbox and then pay this extra price when that wasn't what you said during your showcase. That's why for me now, it went from a 10 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10, because you literally cut out the Game Pass value proposition. And now if you cut out the Game Pass value proposition, I'm not going to buy an Xbox anymore. I'm just going to wait for those games to come to PlayStation, and then that's where I'm going to play them. Because if I have to pay all this money anyway, I may as well own the game on the platform that I prefer to play on. And let's face it, they're going to perform better on PlayStation. Like, that's not even a question now. So it is what it is. But anyways, let's see what this person said, okay? Let's go ahead and see what this person said over here. Okay, so let's click into this thing. I hate the way that, by the way, the Twitter tree works. Like, I like Reddit. Like, you guys have seen, like, Reddit, how it, like, kind of nests the conversation. Because in Twitter, I always find it weird to follow. For example, I see 13 comments here. But if I click show replies, there's hardly ever 13 comments. Like, over here, this one has 3 comments. Are these 3 comments part of my 13 comments? Or do I have to click into this? Then how many times am I clicking into something? Why is the conversation tree so weird in Twitter? Whatever, we're going to just go. So I said lol. Okay, he says, I agree, PlayStation Plus is garbage by comparison. Hardly any day one games. All the games that by the time you call PlayStation, you've already played them, you don't want to play it. Even Sony first party titles are not available on PlayStation Plus. Listen, I believe that Sony's service is a superior service to Game Pass. I just do. I don't think that the advantage of D&D is this big advantage when, for the most part, Game Pass was created in 2017. All the way to 2024, projected out, how many titles have actually come day and date? Maybe 20, maybe 25 titles that are worth kind of like talking about have come to Game Pass day and date. I'm sure if you bring in like a lot of the indie games, a lot of smaller titles that nobody cared about, you could probably push that up to 50, and like some numbers that start to look nice. However, in terms of what value it would have brought to me, maybe a handful of titles would I have cared about. And also, can I just say, since this is going to be a long conversation anyway, can I just say, You know what? Let's go full screen. Guys, come closer. Let's ask ourselves these questions. Do you want to play a title day one? Do you? Because I don't. I don't know. That's another conversation, but should we really like think about it? All of these titles, pretty much every single one of them, like, listen, there are some developers that are really, really great at minimizing the difference between the experience of a title on day one versus the experience of that title 3 months later. So they clean up a few things, they take out some bugs, but it's fairly minor. You have a great experience on day one. That's what I experienced with God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2. I didn't get any bugs. And all of these kind of things. But even Sony, take a look at Horizon Forbidden West on PlayStation 5 when it first came out. Take a look at it 9 months later. Completely different experience. They improved so much in the game that you can make the argument that those improvements should either have been there day one, or the game should have been delayed until that 9 months later date. And that's with Sony, who are fairly damn good with giving you a great product on day one. But for the most part, all of these other publishers, including Microsoft, are going to give you a completely lame experience on day one. You have Starfield that came at 30 frames per second on the Series X, and I think now it has the 60 frames per second patch without getting rid of how many potatoes you could put at some corner of the universe that people were saying, because it was always dumb to think that developers would build a game in a way that you are 10 galaxies away, but yet the potatoes that you have here are still in memory. Like, people was making that argument. I'm like, you guys are so dumb. Like, who would ever create that system? I don't even need to be a developer to tell you that, yeah, no one in the right mind would let that go through. But obviously, people were using it, blah, 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 oh, blah, 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 oh, back in the day. Yeah, well, as it turns out, I was right all along. It never worked that way. So that's why they were able to bring you the performance that you should have gotten on day one, months later. Which just, again, comes back to the point. Do we really want to play these games on day one? Because think about it. Games are an anomaly. Because with almost any other product in the world, if you pay for the same product months later down the line, you are going to have almost an arguably worse experience, right? Because it might be secondhand, which means it has some wear and tear, or anything like that. You guys know, right? Like, you might get spoiled or whatever. It could still happen with games, right? But movies, for example, don't really get better with time. Like, if you think about it, there's no real patches for like the DVD or the Blu-ray that you put in your system. They don't get patched up. They don't get like better VFX later down the line. Books, typically, again, they do not. I mean, they can get revised editions, which might take out some of the typos, but that is a rare thing. So again, books, movies, music, they don't really change. And they certainly don't like give you a positive return on investment for having waited the extra time. Not really. If anything, it kind of works better if you're kind of out there on day one. But with games, now in the gaming landscape environment that we are in, games are often better 9 months later, and like usually drastically better, not even close. Like, there are times where the game that you play is unrecognizable, whether you play it on day one or let's say month number 9. Give it that pregnant pause. I remember this with Dragon Age Inquisition. My friend played it on day one, and I played it months and months later. I think it was a pregnant pause. I think it was like 9 months to a year later. And when I played it, I had a chest in my keep where I could keep all of the random paraphernalia, things that I bought. It made inventory management a smooth, almost easy process. When he came to my house and he saw me play the game months later, because he'd beaten it, within like 3 weeks. He saw me play, and then I went up to the chest and he was like, "Wait, what's that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's the chest in your room. That's what it is." And then he was like, "Wait, that's in the game?" And I was like, "Yeah, didn't you play this game?" And he's like, "When I played it, it didn't exist." And I was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Wait, what did you do with all of the random crap that you got? And how did you like manage the inventory?" He's like, I had to just keep dropping things all of the time. And I was like, oh my God, that must have been so tedious. And he was like, it was. And he nearly played the game all over again. Except it's a super long game, right? But the point is, I had a humongously better and improved experience. Take a look at Returnal again. Day one, you couldn't suspend your game. In fact, a lot of runs were lost because the console will automatically update in the night and take away whatever run you were on, making you start all over. A few months down the line, they gave you the ability to suspend and resume your game. Huge improvement. So this value proposition that that Game Pass gives you over PlayStation Plus, where they're like, oh, play all of these games day one, it doesn't mean that much to me because, I mean, again, take a look at, let's not even go to Xbox games. Let's go to, for example, Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade, I played the demo. Great game. I look forward to playing it. I'm not playing it without a photo mode. No way. I'm not playing it without a photo mode. I want a photo mode. I want a photo mode to be in the game. I'm going to enjoy that game a lot better, at least 30% better, if I have a photo mode in it. Has it come yet? No. But I'm going to give it that pregnant pause, and it's going to come eventually. I know that it's one of the items that the developers have highlighted that they are going to bring to the game. So the version of me playing that game day one, even if it had no other bug, would have enjoyed it less than the version of me that plays the game once that photo mode is tightly implemented into the game. And hopefully it's a great photo mode and I can get a lot of enjoyment out of it. But the point is, for waiting and getting to pay less, because that's the thing about the anomaly that games are. The longer you wait, the cheaper the cost, but the better the product. I mean, it's a win-win-win situation for those who are willing to be patient on any title, you know? So, again, take a look at Final Fantasy 16. Great game. I played the demo. I enjoyed it. Thought it was wonderful. Great. Fantastic. But here's the thing. I don't want to play a game like Final Fantasy 16 that has... it's got a very different flow from the games that I usually play. So when I'm in it, I want to be in it. And I want to have all of the DLC with it. Because I don't want to do this thing where I play the game and I finish it, I complete it, love it. And then 3 months later, they give me a DLC and I have to learn the game all over again at an advanced level. It sucks. I don't like that experience. So again, for waiting, I'm going to have a better experience. And because I like to buy my games, I'm going to be able to buy them for cheaper. Again, I don't have any issue with people buying games day one or wanting to play games day one. But when we're looking at the PlayStation Plus versus Game Pass value proposition and looking at the day one items specifically, I can tell you that day one doesn't mean all that much to me. I think the best way to have day one games are games, I think, like Dave the Diver. You know, when Dave the Diver came to console, it was day one on console, but they had already spent months or years on PC. It already got refined through that process. So when it comes to us, playing it day one is great because there's basically nothing that they have left to improve. The game is basically finalized. So that's when it matters the most. So I don't know, man. Saying that PlayStation Plus, to me, is worse than Game Pass just because of day one games, bro. Especially not for Microsoft. Like, not Microsoft of all people. Certainly not Microsoft. I mean, their studios have improved games. Take a look at Sea of Thieves, you know. Unrecognizable for when it was first announced. So, yeah, that's my little thought on it. We should have that in a separate conversation. Oh, another thing we should have in a separate conversation, by the way, is this notion now that that the generation should be longer. I think I already made a video on it, but I do want to revisit the topic because I think when I first made the video, I might have been one of the only people saying it. Now a lot more people are thinking the same. Because I don't know about you guys, but I could easily see myself doing another 6 years with the PlayStation 5, even without a PlayStation 5 Pro. With a PlayStation 5 Pro, I could do like 5, 6, 7, 8 more years. Like, I'm pretty happy. I'm a pretty happy customer. Okay. So over here, this person said that, PlayStation Plus is garbage. Listen, if you think that PlayStation Plus is garbage, cool. How do you need day one games? I don't care for it. All the games, you know. So The thing about older games is that if they're older games, that's fine for me because they have had the time to be finalized, and that probably meant that there were games that I was not that like enticed to play day one anyway. As far as being a gamer, though, I gotta tell you guys, like we just had a discussion. I'm not a day one guy. I really am not. I'm really okay with waiting. I really truly am. I would rather just have one great experience with a game than having a substandard or a lesser than experience just to find out that 6 months later people had a way better experience than me. And then I get to pay a premium for having paid day one. I'm okay. Okay, PlayStation Plus has 100 more games, better cloud streaming, cost less, and just to build your point further, more subscribers. I feel like people who okay, this person will responds. Most of those 100 games are games that you already own. Game Pass has more games that aren't available on PlayStation Plus, at least not day one. They also have PC games that we'll never see on console, and you literally need to play multiplayer, so of course he has more subscribers. Well, the thing is, you need Game Pass to play multiplayer on Xbox anyway, so that's redundant. PlayStation Plus has more subscribers because they have a larger fan base. If Xbox had a larger fan base than PlayStation, there's a great chance that their Game Pass will have a larger, subscriber pool than whatever. It is what it is. But people like to dismiss PlayStation Plus. They really, really do. They don't see that. I think they see it as, PlayStation gamers are somehow forced or bullied into subscribing for PlayStation Plus. But the truth is, PlayStation Plus is pretty damn great. People compare Extra to Game Pass because they give you access to the catalog of games. Something like 400 plus games on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 for PlayStation Plus, and something like 300 plus games for Game Pass. So very, very close, right? Fine. But what they forget is PlayStation Plus Essential. The essential games that you get to PlayStation Plus have a unique characteristic in that, yes, you will lose access to them if your subscription elapses, but they will never have a run-out time. They will never run out of you. They will never be taken out of your collection, right? If you already claim them. So you can get a game through PlayStation Plus Essential and then play them 5 years later, as long as your subscription is active at that time. And you could have elapsed your subscription in the meantime. I think that is clutch. I really, really do. Because they give you at least 3 games per month. So that means that, okay, let's put it this way. After 5 years, there will be 60 months. And that will be 180 games that are kind of added to your personal vault. That's kind of how I think about it. It's your personal library. Like, yes, it is still a library that you have to pay to get access to, but it's yours now. Those 180 games will be yours and they will never be taken out. That is a huge clutch, because when I take a look at, I've been subscribed to PlayStation Plus for I think longer than 5 years now. So when I take a look at my games that came just from PlayStation Plus Essential, I think I'm roughly around, I want to say 200 games. That's a half or 2/3 of the Game Pass library. And that's just my private collection. That is not including the catalog that PlayStation Plus gives you. PlayStation Plus Essential, for me, makes PlayStation Plus better than Game Pass by itself. Because with Game Pass, there is a timer on a lot of those games. First-party games, of course, are pretty much indefinite. They will die there to stay. But a lot of third-party games, they will come in and out. And it kind of sucks when you're planning to play a game, whether it's on the Game Pass or PlayStation Plus catalog, and it's being taken out, and you are not ready to play that game at that time. That's happened to me multiple times with PlayStation Plus. Obviously, the answer is to just buy that game next time it's on sale or next time that you feel like it. But again, PlayStation Plus Essential doesn't give me those problems. So I really value Essential, and then Essential plus Extra combined to be a better value proposition to me than Game Pass does. Now, as far as cloud streaming, I don't really care for cloud streaming because I'm not going to use it. Cost less, that's nice. It is nice that, again, cost is not that important to me. So, for me, this is whatever. If PlayStation Plus could cost $10 per year, but if you're not a PlayStation customer, you don't value the PlayStation ecosystem or whatever, you'd rather pay $200 per year for Xbox, which it would be where you prefer to play. So it is what it is. More subscribers, like I said, that's just a matter of fact that PlayStation is just a better ecosystem overall, and most of the world agrees with that. Okay, over here, PlayStation Plus has 800 plus games. Okay, these people are going back and forth. No one's even. I think this conversation got really further. What is it? It got way beyond my initial point because people were going back and forth, kind of comparing libraries and everything like that. So, anyways, I'm not going to respond to things that were not addressed to me. Let's see. Day one is on for the premium share. Yes, it will be $20. Okay. And don't forget high quality games coming soon as well. The purchase, people forget that it's not just Activision games you're paying for. That's a great point. Whatever. Give them a like. Good. People are complaining about PlayStation Plus. I literally see complaints every month about new games coming in. What does that have to do with Microsoft doing something bad? That's a good point. A lot of whataboutisms in the community, isn't it? Because as soon as you want to say anything about PlayStation, people say, "Oh, what about Xbox?" You want to say anything about Xbox, people say, "What about PlayStation?" Guys, these things are individual. Even if Sony was providing one of the worst gaming services, I think Nintendo service is one of the most garbage. Are you kidding? I'd rather have Game Pass at $30 a month than pay a single dollar for what Nintendo is providing. Garbage games, sorry guys, that was a bit too much. Games for children, there we go. Okay, so the point is, I think that Xbox and PlayStation have a tremendous value proposition that Nintendo simply doesn't match. But am I going to say what about Nintendo every single time? No, obviously not. That would be silly. Okay, so stop doing it, guys. Okay, blah blah blah. People arguing again about prices and comparing PlayStation Plus. I'm gonna let that go. Okay, next person. They look real silly getting Call of Duty for free now on Game Pass, lol. Here's the thing, Game Pass isn't free. I mean, especially after this price raises, how do you guys forget that Game Pass isn't free? You're getting Call of Duty. Again, here's what I said. I said before that if you were already paying the $17 per month that you were paying before, and you were fully stoked and happy with what was coming up and with what you were already getting, then all of the games that they announced at the showcase were just free added value to you. That in that way, Game Pass can be quote unquote free because, well, no, Game Pass isn't free, but those games can be free. But now they're actually charging you for Call of Duty. They're charging you $3 per year. And that's $36. That's almost half of the price of the game. And if it doesn't come on a true day one, and they make you pay for the extra $30 to access it on time, while everybody else gets delayed access, now that would be $66 that they've taken you for that year. That's pretty much the price of the game, but now you don't own it. You have to pay them continually. That's crazy. That's literally insane. And if you're going to get into Game Pass just for Call of Duty, how is that going to work when you're now going to pay $240 on console just to pay a $7 game? Boy, it doesn't make any sense. At that stage, you might as well buy it. Come on. Let's just continue. What do we see here? Actually, it can be free if you do your daily rewards points or if you can get the rewards. Boy. Oh, the poverty mindset that people have. Okay, cool. I guess if you fill this little online surveys or you turn Bing into your search engine, you can get these points. Bro. No. Okay, no, I'm not going to. Okay, I'm glad that avenue is available for some people. I've heard that they've even reduced the amount of rewards that you can get, or the amount of subsidizing of the services that you can do through these Microsoft reward points and everything like that, because obviously a lot of you were doing it and they are not there to lose money, but boy, this poverty mindset of trying to make gaming as cheap and as discounted as possible, I don't like it. Here's the thing, if you want gaming to be cheap, go ahead and pay 1 to 2 year old games that you can find for $10 or $20 at your local game shop. Pay physical, get it, find it on Facebook Marketplace. There's ways to make gaming cheaper, but this is just poverty mindset driven. I just don't like it. Trading ungodly amount of hours just to be able to have this thing a little bit cheaper. I'm not bored. If you're at that point, again, at least if you go to your game shop or your GameStop or whatever, and you pay for the $5 game or whatever, it might be a few years old. You got all the patches. It's a final product. It's great. It's fantastic. You got good reviews. You've got people that you trust that have reviewed it and have told you what the experience is like from beginning to end. You know that you're going to get a great product out of it. It only took like what, 15-20 minutes to drive, get it, and then go back home and play it. But no, instead you want to spend 2 or 3 hours every single day going, and doing all of these things. So you're spending like what, 20 hours a month filling up your Microsoft reward points so that you can get Game Pass at a more affordable. Dude, no. Go make, instead of spending those 20 hours every month to make Game Pass quote unquote free, go and work and spend that time earning money so you can just pay for it outright. Like, bro, like you only need 2 or 3 hours of like extra work in order to make Game Pass, quote unquote free, instead of doing this menial labor that Microsoft wants you to do. That's come on, man. Come on. Just go generate a little bit more money with the extra time. You like 1 or 2 hours, like a minimum wage. Okay, minimum wage in America is terrible. Okay, well, I guess if you're in a country that cares about its people, minimum wage 1 or 2 hours will get there. And if you're like, oh well, I'm in America and our minimum wage is at $8 an hour, which is completely batshit crazy, by the way, move yourself to a country where they actually care about, I don't know, standards of living or something, bro. Like, you have an American passport. It's one of the things you can do. Like, you guys are welcome pretty much anyway. Move. Okay. Okay, so who's going to spend time on that bullshit every day? Thank you, bro. Thank you. Listen, it doesn't take that much time. Oh my god. Hey, you know what? I'm going to yeah, hi. If you're genuinely surprised by the price increase, you have nobody to blame but yourself. Here's the thing. First of all, I added the hi because I thought you should be polite. You should say hello. I'm not surprised by the price increase. And again, I'm not talking about the price increase. I don't like talking about prices increasing. It's not the thing that I do. And I'm not surprised by them. I am surprised that they remove Game Pass day one from most of their tiers, because now 2 out of the 3 tiers will no longer have Game Pass day one. So it is what it is. That is surprising to me. But hey, it's fine. So PlayStation having 3 tiers of PlayStation Plus is good, but Xbox having something similar is bad. Okay, got it. But here's the thing. The 3 tiers of PlayStation Plus offer you a tremendously differentiated value proposition that doesn't feel like they just kind of saved the best out for the last one. If anything, with PlayStation, the middle value is by far the best in terms of like what you're getting. So again, with Essential, you're getting online. Okay, fine, that should be free. I agree, that should be free. But you're also getting the Essential games. That is 36 games over the course of a year for a super affordable price, by the way, because it's whatever. I don't know what the price is of it per month because I just pay, for the whole year in advance. But once you pay for a whole year, you get a great discount. And also, if you're going to wait until the holiday periods, you can get an even further discount. So usually it's like $50 a year and you get 36 games, which are, out of those 36, there might be 10 that you end up playing, which means you paid about $5 for each of those titles, which is again a pretty good value proposition. That's literally what I said before. Go to GameStop, go to the bargain bin, get yourself a bit of an older game, and you're gonna get it. Sometimes those games on PlayStation Plus Essential are even day one, and not all of them are bad. Take a look at Stray. Stray was day one. I'm not sure if it was on Essential. No, it was on Extra. So Stray was on Extra, so that one doesn't count. But there's been a few day one games that even went to Essential. So, but usually those are titles that people are a little bit more iffy about. Usually, some have been good though. Some have been good. Okay, the middle value now gives you the catalog, which is the 400 to 500 live back catalog of games. That's a lot. And again, once you pay for a whole year upfront, boy, it is like half of the price of the equivalent Game Pass value. And so there is that. And then finally, premium in the United States will give you the cloud streaming, which it doesn't do in Australia. So we get the deluxe, which is at a cheaper price than premium is. But in any case, premium will give you the cloud streaming. It will give you the classic catalog if you care about playing old games. I don't, so that means nothing to me. But gives you at least the cloud streaming, gives you that, and I think it gives you a few other perks that mean nothing to me. So for me, the middle, extra is by far the best. I don't care for classics. I don't care for the game trials. I mean, I would like to have the game trials. I think it would be interesting to try these games. But I think that game trials only really matter if you're going to play a game closer to day one. And usually they come a few months later anyway. By then you have so many reviews, so many playthroughs, so many other sources, to be able to kind of get an opinion of the game, that for me it reduces the impact of the trials. If the PlayStation Plus game trials were, first of all, more broadly available over a wide selection of games, and they were there closer to day one, I think then they will be a lot more useful. But even then, I'm not that invested in playing these games right away. So, and I don't mind taking a chance on a game that I may not entirely love. Once in a while, I pay for a game day one, and I will have a 7 out of 10 experience like I did with Forspoken, and I'll be pretty happy with it. And I don't mind paying the equivalent of $7 for that. It's fine. It's like, yeah, I don't mind it. Sometimes I just want to play the game day one also. So, yeah, that's what PlayStation Plus proposes. And what I like about that is, again, the best value, the best features of the PlayStation Plus offering for me is the back catalog, and that is in the middle tier. Super affordable. Game Pass, by comparison, now if you are on console specifically, you're going to have Game Pass, what is it called? Which is basically just multiplayer. No monthly games. That's crazy. Then you have Game Pass Standard, which will give you the back catalog but not the day one titles, but at least this time they give you online, so that one is important. And then finally, the ultimate, what you should really get, they give you everything that you should get, including day one, or delayed access, whatever. However, now they saddle you up with PC, which is fine if you go back and forth between your PC and your Xbox. Fantastic. If you're like, hey, listen, I love playing on PC and sometimes I love playing on console, or whether that's 80-20, 90-10, whatever way you split it, as long as you are actively using both platforms for your gaming needs, fantastic. Great for you, right? But here's the thing. If you are like me and you're a person who is never going to take advantage of the PC side of things, that means nothing. In fact, you're making me pay for something that I actively want to use. So I don't like that for console only Xbox gamers, because why is it that we don't get like a day one tier that is just for console? There should be like, they have Xbox Game Pass standard. They should have Game Pass for console, which would be with day one. Same thing as standard, but day one with console. And then that would be something like, again, $17 per month, exactly what it is now. But it wouldn't saddle you up with PC. And then for $25 a month, you can have Ultimate, which is console and PC. I think that would have done a lot better. But hey, what do I know? So anyways, I think that Xbox having the same is bad. Is it bad? No. I just don't think it's as interesting. Let's see what his kind of responses were. Remember, if Xbox does it, then it's bad. Great. They're both bad with the pricing. The differences you are conveniently ignoring. That's true. This needs to be said louder for the people in the back. Okay. PlayStation having isn't good either. Listen, people are in denial. I don't want to break the bubble. PlayStation Plus hurt you again this month, I see. Well, if trying to console yourself by saying Game Pass bad makes you feel better about the lesser services of PlayStation Plus, living in denial is a way of living after all. Man, this is a really long comment on something real stupid, because again, why did I say Game Pass was bad? My tweet was, all those who supported this deal are looking silly now. You buy it for $1 trillion company, and the first thing they did was sting you, Scorpion to the Frog. And the responses so far that I've gotten are, well, if you didn't know they were going to sting you, well, you're somehow a fool. And I'm like, okay. None of you have addressed what I've said. The other response is, oh, Game Pass is way better than PlayStation Plus. Okay, great. If it's no problem. If Game Pass is better than PlayStation Plus to you, have at it. What does that have to do with my tweet? That other one is, I guess Game Pass is bad. I never say Game Pass was bad. I actually don't have that many issues with Game Pass. I always had an issue with day one because I thought that was reducing the quality of the games, which is evident, by the way. But I never had an issue with Game Pass as a concept. How could I have an issue with Game Pass as a concept when it was inspired by PlayStation Plus? And I like PlayStation Plus. That would be crazy. It's literally the equivalent of PlayStation Plus. It just had day one, which I thought was a detriment to the service. And it still is a detriment to the service. But hey, we're not about to have that conversation now. But again, my tweet over here didn't say that Game Pass was bad. Never said that. Okay, now if you're saying that, oh, it's in reference to the FTC saying that Microsoft new Game Pass standard is a degraded product, first of all, they're right. It is a degraded product. Like, you can't even argue that. That's why none of you are arguing it. You can't argue that it's degraded. It is degraded. Now, is it still got value for you? Great, fantastic. But again, I never say Game Pass was bad. I don't believe Game Pass is bad. I do believe that it is worse than PlayStation Plus. But again, I didn't even voice that in this tweet. You can have opinions that are adjacent to something without actually talking about those other opinions themselves. My tweet was, Microsoft stung you after you guys went to bat for them, which you did, and none of you are arguing with me. You're just arguing around me. And my point. Okay, cool. Whatever. Let's continue over here. It's sad how jealous I am. Damn, that's crazy. Okay, why? I've ultimately since the job, can't afford it, that sucks. Is he saying that he can't afford it? Hey, I'm sorry for you, mate. I think they are like battered wives defending one that is slapping them. They have become addicted to scorpion poison. Yo, that's true. Oh, twice, because they bought Bethesda and right before Starfield came out, they raised the price. That's true. And now a year later, right before COD comes to Game Pass, they raise the prices again. Yo, that's a good point. That's a good point. Hey, listen. Don't let Microsoft make any more acquisition, okay? The next purchase, it might be $30 a month, okay? Don't let them buy EA or anyone big. Okay, another one. What's hilarious is everyone has been so open about how obvious all price hikes are for Call of Duty, but people have an issue with the FTC saying what we have all been saying. That's true. That's true. So let's see some of the replies. And you're all wrong. Why is it every other service has or is increasing prices, including PlayStation Plus, Netflix, Paramount Plus, Sky TV, Prime, ISPs, mobile phone carriers, and all the rest that are pretty much increased on a yearly basis? It's called inflation. Bro, no one believes that. No one believes that. Okay, then I go for an argument back about it. To the point of all of these subscription services rising up. Yeah, that's definitely true. And again, if I was arguing about pricing, then I guess I would have a response. But you guys, I would you beaten it over the head. I don't care, bro. Like when Netflix raised the prices for me, there came to a time where I was like, I don't feel like paying for this, so I just canceled it. I didn't tweet about it. Disney Plus, at the moment, it's too expensive for me. I don't think it provides the value. Quick tangent. Can we talk about The Acolyte? That was disappointing. Was it disappointing? I have no idea whether people think it was disappointing. I think it was disappointing. I was disappointed. I am disappointed. I am. I really, really am. I don't think Star Wars is that great. I think that Star Wars needs a whole universe reboot. I think that when they wrote George Lucas wrote the first films, he had a very tight trilogy in mind, just the first trilogy that he produced. And then it became way bigger, way bigger than he could have ever imagined when he was first kind of thinking about these first movies. And now, I don't know, it's just floundering. It doesn't know what it wants to be. It is constantly tied to the Skywalker saga because it can't let certain characters go. They always have to come back, but they can't affect the actual change of what happens in the future, in the timeline. It's all... They need like an alternate universe Star Wars so that they can just get like a really talented group of writers to basically map out a 15-year journey for all of Star Wars, where they can place all of these moments happening and then really bring it in. I'm disappointed with The Acolyte. I thought it started off great. I got Disney Plus for it. And then by the time I got to episode 3, I was like, oh my god, I should have just waited to the end because I thought it was pretty garbage. And I don't mind the acting. I don't mind the black girl. It's not about that. It's just the writing. It feels like it went nowhere. Like, where did it actually go? At the end of the day, she started off killing a Jedi, and then the only thing that happened is that they kind of had like a symbolic switch around where her sister now became the innocent one, and she became the one tied to the dark side or something, or whatever the hell it is. And I'm so tired of the Force. I really, really am. I'm tired of the Force because it's like the magic system in Harry Potter. It's a very undefined magic system. And by the way, sci-fi, Star Wars is not sci-fi. It's fantasy. Like, you guys understand, like straight fantasy. Like in this, in this show alone, they had, I think, 2 ships crash on a planet where these ships came from orbit and literally just smashed against the planet. And I don't care what kind of absorption technology you have. Listen, all of that energy will crush your bones. These people walk out like it's fine. All of the planets in Star Wars are somehow, every single one of them have great oxygen. They're all made for humans, by the way. Every single planet is just great for humans. You never have to think about extra gravity. You never have to think about gravitational forces. You never have to think about bacteria. You never have to think about microorganisms that your body might not be adapted to. Sometimes you have to wear a mask because it's quote unquote the poisonous or the acid or the whatever, very typical fantasy setting kind of thing. But aside from that, Star Wars is just complete pure fantasy. Like, all of these, what are they even fighting for? Like, you guys have these galaxies full of literally thousands of planets that are all inhabitable, all have colossal amount of resources on top of them. What would you have to fight over? If humans, right, had the ability to propagate all over the galaxy, even if there were other races, there would be nothing to fight over because all of us can have, do you know the abundance of resources that they are in the world? With all of the technology that they have in Star Wars, they can harvest every single bit of it. There's nothing to, you could all have planets to yourselves. There's trillions of planets. And apparently in Star Wars, every third one is inhabitable. Literally. Like, and are all perfect for humanity. Like, there's no such thing as a planet that's like, oh, well, we can't land there because our bone structure isn't good enough. Like, nah, they all are Earth-like. So great. They have like a gajillion Earths in the galaxy. What are they fighting over? Like, who the hell cares? Anyways, Star Wars, disappointing. It's not sci-fi. I wish it was. I wish that it didn't have to marry itself to the Skywalker saga, because I feel like that thing is always an anchor point. You can never be too impactful because you should have featured in the Skywalker saga all the way back in 19, whenever the fuck they were made. And I think it just drags down the entire show. So I like moments in Star Wars. My favorite film in Star Wars by far is against Star Wars Rogue One, because it's a story that could actually do something, that because they basically all die. They literally killed every single one of them. So then they didn't have to explain away where were these characters during this thing. So I love Rogue One. But aside from that, it has never really reached like anything. I think Star Wars is super overrated. But I always love it because I love the setting, I love the sound, I love the spaceships, I love the designs. I just wish that they could flesh it out and they didn't have to adhere to a canon that was accidentally put there. I think that they should just cut the Star Wars universe and just cut it over and then just restart it. You can use the same actors and the same characters, but this time you can have a timeline that spans like 500 years and that is planned out by the same core team, and then put something cinematic and beautiful like the Marvel universe was. I think Star Wars is good enough for that. But when they're still trying to like create this hodgepodge of stories around the Skywalker saga, I don't know. It's not for me. Let's return to what we were talking about. Okay, the only thing to you PlayStation 5 boys, Xbox gamers are eating good. What are you eating? Like, what have you eaten so far this year? You guys are eating air. Like, you're eating showcases and presentations, so, enjoy it, great. 66 people like it, go for it. Let Microsoft cook them. Okay, this one includes a word I muted. I mute a lot of words because sometimes it will be something like Spider-Man and I don't want to hear the discourse around it. So, let's see. EA Play has increased the price by £16 a year to 20, from 20 to 36. Oh, that's crazy. 20 to 36 pounds. That's nearly double. That's crazy. Wow. I didn't even know that. Okay, again, I don't know what this has to do with our conversation because we're not talking about EA. And also, I don't use EA Play because I think the best place to use EA Play is on PC. And you guys know I have a huge disdain for playing on PC, so it's whatever. So many Xbox are defending Microsoft. That's exactly what they're doing, though. That's crazy. They didn't sting shit. Finally, a person that addresses my comment. I knew the price would eventually go to 20. Fair enough, and that's why I'm comfortable paying for the value that Game Pass adds. Great. When it goes over, then we can talk. Xbox is starting to release games, some bangers, not including the third and second party deals. You know what? Am I gonna like this comment? I mean, I kind of half like it because first of all, they said he didn't sting Shirt, but then he says that they didn't sting him because he expected the sting. So it's like they stung you. You literally just say I expected to be stung, and as long as I'm only stung this many times, then it doesn't matter. But if I get stung beyond this point, then it will matter. But you're agreeing with me. You got stung, so it is okay. What's PlayStation exclusive for raising the prices to $85 in some countries? Oh wait, they don't need one coming to a destination near you soon. Yeah, what is the excuse? I'm still not like happy about it. Like I'm not thrilled that I have to pay more for PlayStation Plus Extra. If you're asking me, if I'm being honest, have they put something that I thought was more valuable in the service compared to before? No. Would I be okay paying? I think in Australia it'd be like $140 a year to get a renewal of PlayStation Plus Extra. Am I happy with that pricing? No. Do I think right now that that pricing will be worth it for continued access to that catalog? No, not really. Because again, at $140 a year, I can easily see myself going to just buy games at $20 or something, and that would be 7 full price AAA games, or something thereabouts, and that makes a lot of sense to me. Now, I could renew again beyond 2025. They could add something else that could be interesting. They could reduce the prices, although that's incredibly unlikely. But really, the thing that they did that was really, really bad is that before, when they would have the promotion of get what is it, PlayStation Plus at a discounted rate during Christmas or whatever holiday there was, right? You could do that even when you were still subscribed, so you got the benefit of those like discounts as well. So it made it really affordable. I think I used to renew PlayStation Plus at like $70 or something for the year. That was completely worth it, especially when I was extra. So now I did that a few years back. I think like back in 2022, I added like 2 years to my to my PlayStation Plus. That was already like up to 2023, so on and so forth. So I did that a few years back, and I was pretty happy with the price. Now, when I project myself in 2025, because it'll be in December that it finishes, and I have to make this decision, there's no way I'm paying full price. There's no way I'm paying $140 for the year for PlayStation Plus Extra. I don't think that they have an excuse. But again, for me, that's just a financial consideration. If I was, let's be kind to myself, right? Let's say that in 2025, I have 3 times the amount of disposable income that I do right now. Then yeah, I probably will pay it because again, as a percentage of what I actually have in my bank account, it will be fine. It won't be the worst thing in the world. But right now, nah, it's not really worth it to me. I would rather just again drop down to essential, keep getting access to my personal collection of games and keep adding to that, and yeah, just kind of play from there. So that's what I would rather do. We'll see. It says here, Sony stung me more when they increased the price of PlayStation Plus and didn't add any value. At least the Xbox people are getting more value. Hey, you know what? Sony did sting. Yeah. Again, for me, they haven't stung me yet because I'm all the way up to 2025. And again, I don't have to pay those prices. So, but yeah, I agree. Sony, what they did, that wasn't okay because those prices went up by like 40%. You could argue that they were kind of kept down for a long time, but that would be fine so long as I kept having access to the discounts as a subscriber. Now, if you want to have those discounts, you need to be a lapsed subscriber or you need to be a brand new subscriber. And I hate it when companies do this because it feels like taking advantage of the people that have been loyal to you the most. If you've been a subscriber to a particular mobile carrier for a long time. And then they run a promotion that says that, hey, for the next 6 months, you can get the same plan that you're having, but at a discounted rate. You've been there for 7 years. You call them up and you're like, hey, can I have access to this discount? They'll say no, it's for new subscribers only. And it's like, why? I've been supporting you. You have a job because of me. But the new people that have never heard about you, they get to have a better discount and a better welcome than I do, even though I'm the loyal customer. And I feel like, companies have gotten away from that for so long, but it's not really a good feeling. So yeah, that to me is the biggest thing that Sony did. Increasing the prices is one thing, but then giving discounts only to new and kind of lapsed subscribers, that just encourages me to become a lapsed subscriber so that I can have the better package, right? So I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, the deal has nothing to do with inflation across the entire world. Netflix is still a whole $10 more than Game Pass, okay? And they increase the prices every 6 months, okay? $3 tier increase and more higher quality games on day one. Sign me up. Good for you. Again, I don't really care talking about the price increase. I know I didn't battle for this. Was never really a big fan of Call of Duty anyway. I'm more of a Battlefield type dude. Hey, for Battlefield, you get a like. First they say get rid of day one games. So Xbox created a tier with no day one games and they're still not happy. Yeah. If they had gotten rid of day one games on that tier, but then it had been cheaper in order to reflect the value being taken away because it is degraded, then absolutely. If they got rid of day one games entirely, I would have expected that the whole of Game Pass would have gotten cheaper, So again, that would have been for me a fair compromise. And again, I thought, hey, day one games make games worse. I still think that's true. Because if you don't have to sell the game, bro, you're not going to put your heart and soul into it. You're just not. And they haven't proven otherwise yet. So we're going to see. We're going to see how they go. Oh, $3 a month. I'm broken. Hey, I'm sorry that $3 a month breaks you. I'm getting called for under $20 plus online plus hundreds of other games. I'm good. Let's talk about that point. You're getting called for $20 a month. Forget about the financial consideration. Let's just talk about the time commitment. Who has time for this? If I was in my late teens, I would have loved the service like PlayStation Plus and Game Pass. Absolutely. Even at this price, it would have been great. Because I was time rich, but money poor. Nowadays, I find myself to be more often than not, I'm the other way around. I am financially comfortable, but I'm time poor, extremely time poor. Like today is the first day, and I think about a month where I spend the entire day at home. Like I could just stay home on a Saturday and not have to worry about driving there to work over here, driving this to work over there, doing that and doing this. I even had to go to the gym and I was like, I'm just going to stay home just to be able to actually enjoy the house that I keep buying things for and making nicer and nicer. But it's like, who's going to be home to enjoy it? No one, because I live by myself and no one is home. No one is ever home. I'm never home and I just want to be home. So for me, the hundreds of other games, boy, when are you going to have the time to play for them? Because again, Team Pizza, if you are in your early 20s, late teens, boy, power to you. But if you are in your early 30s, early 40s, early 50s, early 60s, so on and so forth, but nah. Unless you are fortunate enough to have so much, kind of financial capacity and capability that you can just take a whole month and just play games all day, every day. In that case, once more, power to you. I applaud it. Okay. So, not really. I mean, it's still a great service. I got to play Flintlock yesterday. I didn't have time to play, but yesterday I didn't have time, but I played some Kunitsugami, and there says before I tried more, and while it's not for everybody, you can pretty much get Game Pass free each month with rewards. Okay, so again, poverty mentality with the Game Pass free with rewards thing, that's on you. You guys like it. You got to play Flintlock yesterday, but you didn't really have time. So again, it's like, what did I really do? You play another game, that's great. Yeah, listen, if you're there to sample games, Services like Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, they're great for that. So go for it. And I never said again Game Pass wasn't a great service. I think it's a great value proposition. Again, my only issue with Game Pass has only ever been day one, but that isn't because I think that's just because I think that it makes games worse. That's it. That's my only issue with it. Otherwise, it's great. So do you think the same when PlayStation Plus, Netflix, and Disney Plus raise the prices? Absolutely. Absolutely. Except I don't care to talk about prices being raised. Again, over here, groceries, gas, housing, all inflation. Game Pass or games goes up $2. It's $3, but fine. FTC was right. I mean, they are right. That's why you're not disputing them. And also, the FTC wasn't talking about groceries, gas, or housing. And if they were talking about groceries, gas, or housing, I would hope that people wouldn't fight them. When they're trying to make those products better for the consumers. So it is there. It absolutely is worth it for this quality. Okay, so over here, this is Game Pass in 2024 so far. So we have some older titles, which again, a lot of people like to say that they don't care for older titles, but there's a lot of older titles here. Diablo 4 was a good ad, I think so. Hellblade 2, such a disappointment. Callisto Protocol, on another older title. But there are some day one games. I think Persona 3 is there, and that was on day one. Immortals was later, I think. These ones are coming day one over here. Disavowed. Jesus Christ. That thing should be like day 900, just because they should fix that game and give us what they actually promised. Jesus Christ. Then a whole bunch of... Wait, are all of these Call of Duty games added? I think they just... This is what these guys do. They create these what is it? I think over here you can even see the Photoshop that this was like originally from Xbox. Or they create this for Xbox, and then they create these marketing things, and you think that, oh, this is real, but really you have to like read carefully, because I don't think all of these titles are in Game Pass yet. But I can see how they will be added to Game Pass eventually. But why are you inflating the amount of things that they have? Like, why are you being dishonest? Unless I'm mistaken. If I'm mistaken, I apologize. If all these titles are originally on Game Pass, fantastic, that's great. But as far as I know, they haven't added all of the Call of Duty titles yet. So, but yeah, okay, cool. You find value in that. That's great for you, mate. People that are broke, $3 means nothing, though. I guess, yeah, sure. Again, I wasn't talking about the game increase, okay? And again, like I said, for me, it wouldn't be a $3 increase, it would be an $8 increase, because I would have gone from paying $12 in my scenario where I bought a console, an Xbox. I would have gone from paying $12 to paying $20. So that's an $8 increase. And once you factor in the prices in Australia, it's even more than that. So it's not just a $3 increase to me, because I wasn't already subscribed to Game Pass. All service prices are going up, and just Xbox. Again, everybody's stinging us, so I guess let's just accept it when Xbox does it. Cool. The real reason here, okay, let's take a look at this. Oh, this guy is just posting again. That's the second time he's done that. Also, yeah, it says that I had a word muted. Did I just mute EA? Because I do hate EA. So I probably just muted EA. Okay, whatever. You guys got Concord. I actually really like Concord. You know what? Let's put another tangent. Let's talk a little bit about Concord. Concord is coming on August 23rd, and I'm really, really tempted to buy it. The other day I was even going to pre-order it, but I was like, you know what? No, I don't pre-order games as a matter of principle. But I like the game. So I played the early access demo, and I had the biggest issue that I have with that demo is that there was no training mode. In the full game, we are guaranteed to have that. Great. Takes care of one of my big issues. The other issue that I really didn't like was that the progression system felt really stale to me. I thought the first few items were awful. But now they have guaranteed that they will add free maps, free characters, and everything like that. No battle pass, all for the price of entry. I really like that. So I think just for that might have pushed me over the edge. Honestly, that did far more for me than anything else that they've said about the game. The fact that there will not be a battle pass. If I look at the store situation, because that's the final thing to kind of take a look at. If I want to get better skins that speak to me, because I think they have great characters. But honestly, I don't like the costume design. I don't. I wish that they had sexier things. I really do. Like, make women sexy. I like sexy women. I do. Okay? It's just something. Yeah, I do. I think that they should have more attractive costumes and everything like that. They're going for that 70s. They said it's a 1970s retro inspired future aesthetic. I like it. I respect it. But I would like characters that are giving me something more visually aesthetically pleasing to my eye. That's something that I would like. Some of the guys' designs I actually really like as they are. Like they have the black guy, whatever he is, but he's wearing like this coat and this jacket, and I think that's really cool. I like his costume. But everybody else, I just think they're wearing way too much clothes. Like make them slim those down a little bit. Like you can. I'm sure you can find a way to create something that feels of that universe, but then at the same time showing more curvature, more shape, more fashion sense, whatever it is. So I would like more curb appeal on a lot of these characters. I also would like better looking guns. Some of these guns, honestly, the skins, they're not fly, they're not fire, they're not something that I want to purchase. So the point is, in exchange for that, I don't mind paying a few more dollars, right? But it's going to be something like Valorant, hundreds of dollars. Is it going to be something like The First Descendant, tens of dollars? Or is it going to be something like Horse Armor, $2.50? Because if it's going to be, I pay for an upfront fee, $40 US, about $60 in Australia. And then I get all of these games, and then if I want to like deck out my character to be something that kind of appeals to me a little bit more, then I will pay $5 or $10 to have a full costume and everything looking the way that I want. Yeah, it's getting bought. But if they're gonna come out with $20 skins and they're gonna take the piece and things like that, bro, if I'm not gonna pay $20 for a skin on any game. I'm not gonna pay $20 for a skin. I would either take that money and give it to an indie developer. I truly would. Let me go and support Dave the Diver or Dredge or any of these other. Hell, at that, boy, if I'm paying $20 for a skin, I might as well just pay for a lot of indie games that I'm not even gonna play, because that's wasted money to me. Like, instead of paying $20 on a skin, I'd rather just go and support an indie title that I don't even know anything about. But at least it might support someone who actually needs that money more than a big corporation does. So the final thing, because the gameplay is fine to me, the final thing to know is the store. Now that I got rid of the battle pass, I want to say that I am 95% of the way towards buying that game, Concord that is. However, if they're going to take the piece with the microtransactions, then that's going to cool down the flame. But right now, man. And also, I just want to say, a lot of people, I listened to Much's podcast, Crossfire, and everybody was talking about how they don't care about these characters, they don't want to know these story beats and everything. I like the cutscenes. I do. I like it. I like it because in it, I see the single player game that I wish that it was. And listen, I've always said this. If this game doesn't work out as a live service, please do not throw away everything that you have created. Make a single player game out of it. Fortnite went from a tower defense into a battle royale, and they experienced great success. If this live service doesn't pan out at all, please let it be the first title that goes from a live service into a single player game. I'm not sure if you've ever seen that particular transition. That's kind of backwards. Usually it's the other way around. But hey, I just think that Concord in the universe is phenomenal. I like the way these characters look. Like, I like the way they are designed. I just don't like the things that they are wearing. That's literally my biggest issue with their look and appeal, And some of the guns, again, kind of change those up. Cool. I don't need like a futuristic look. I just need something a bit more, appealing. Like, what is it? I think, what was her name? Vale? And she's the black girl with the sniper rifle. Her sniper rifle just looked a little bit too lumpy for me. I can't quite recall it, but I didn't like the look of that sniper rifle. I need something a little bit slicker, a little bit more kind of threatening. It's a sniping rifle. You should be scared if a person is pointing that thing at you. But when she was holding that gun, I was just like, it's a big gun. I want something a little bit more masculine in the design there. So those are my thoughts on Concord. So I'm really glad that we have Concord. And like I said, I am 95% of the way. Before playing the beta, I think I was at 5%. Then I played the beta and I was about 35% because I said it was a 4 out of 10 experience for the early access beta. And that's what kind of stayed. I stayed around the 35 to 40%. I'm like, could be all right if they tighten a few things here, tighten a few things there. But I expected a lot of the microtransactions BS. I expected that the battle passes, the microtransactions, the rotating storefronts, the loot boxes. I just had all of the garbage of live service. I kind of put that on that score. And as soon as they said no battle pass, I was like, wait, this could be different. Are you kidding? And that tremendously shot up my enthusiasm. Like it went from like a 35% enthusiasm to like a 95% enthusiasm. Like honestly, I am so tired on the microtransactions bullshit that literally just that announcement alone, it went up by like 6 points. It's crazy. It's crazy to me how tired I am. And I'm not sure if I'm alone in this. I'm not sure how that will turn out. I don't think that Concord is going to be a huge success, but at the same time, I think that there might be some other people like me that are like, hey, you know what? I get to play a game that's fairly fun for a little bit, and it doesn't try to like trap me inside of it and never let me go because it's just trying to always extract as much money out of me all the time. Maybe there's a few more of us out there than I can imagine. So let's keep going. Because the FTC says so, as a consumer, this deal is working great for me. Nobody's stinging me. That's good for you, buddy. Sure, Goofy. They showed this by putting it on Game Pass and ending Sony exclusivity. Sony never had exclusivity with Call of Duty. What are you talking about? How is it this thing if you get Call of Duty day one? Because you're paying more for it. Like, if you were getting Call of Duty day one without ever paying for anything more, you were only paying $17, and it's for the first year, then you would have gotten it quote-unquote for free. But you're paying for it. That is this thing. Over here, offering a tissue box. Thank you. Offer it to this comment section. Lots of people crying in here. Same board capping for Concord. I don't know when I capped for Concord. Like, I said it was a 4 out of 10 experience of the beta. That's crazy. Or the FTC is butthurt. Okay, cool. Some people really, they're really crazy. Microsoft already replied, keep crying. You see, they come here and then they tell me to keep crying. It's like, why? I didn't invite you. Just, it's so funny. So PlayStation was allowed to up PlayStation Plus, but Game Pass can't get a price increase. Stop being a hypocrite. Again, PlayStation Plus price increase wasn't interesting to me. Game Pass price increase, not interesting to me. It's more about what it did to day one. Okay. We're considering it's still the best gaming subscription in the market. Yeah, it isn't, and it never was. It truly never was, because you never saw a lot of people leave PlayStation Plus for Game Pass. Now that didn't happen. Everybody that had PlayStation Plus and that found value in PlayStation Plus was pretty happy with PlayStation Plus. PlayStation Plus has just always been the quieter, better service. Cheaper, more games, more perks. Literally a better cloud streaming service now, if you can believe it. That's crazy. That is crazy that Sony somehow is doing better at cloud streaming than Microsoft. That's insane. Okay. It's really not that big of a deal. Okay. It got a little ways, a little money, and we really get EA access, PC Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass, and access to all online for $20. Like, if you don't have $20 to spend for all that, just say that. I don't have $20 to spend for all that. I can definitely say that. I don't. Out of all of the money in my pocket, no $20 is marked for Game Pass. That's not going to happen. So Xbox provided a new service that has never existed for people who want to play the Game Pass library, including multiplayer, but didn't want to pay for Ultimate. Now have that option. Not everyone cares about D&D games, and if they do, there's a few dollars a month. Listen, mate. It's not a new service, because Game Pass Ultimate has been existing for a long time, and that was like $15 a month when it first came out. So it's not new. It's gone up by $5. I'm going to be honest, as someone who already had the most expensive tier, I'm still getting a whole lot bang for my buck. I agree with this. Like I said, individual decision. If you find it that it's still worth it, I freaking $20 a month, great. $25 a month, great. $55 a month, great. It's your money. If you find value in it, spend it. Like, there's some people that spend like $500 on like collector's editions for a game. That's what they find worth it. Like, again, I'm never here to police people on like what you should find valuable or not. I have things in my house that other people will never pay for. You know, not because they're like super expensive, but because they just don't value those things, you know. So if you don't value them, don't pay for them. Looking silly for paying for a better form of Redbox or Blockbusters. So day one games, and I will never have played, and hundreds of games I have access to is silly. Is this post you made? I don't even understand it. I think he's in disagreement, but whatever. Oh, I'm gonna feel so stumped playing Diablo 4 and Call of Duty on Game Pass. The shit you people come up with on Twitter is unreal. Living in a bubble. Um, I don't know. I guess I would feel stung if I was paying for Diablo 4 and Call of Duty because those are both huge, humongous games. So, again, in my particular scenario, where I haven't played a game in the last week or so because I've been busy with work and life and everything like that. So, again, for me, it's like, um, on a normal week, I have maybe 5 to 10 hours of gameplay time. Diablo 4 is a game that encourages you to play for hundreds of hours. Call of Duty, much of the same. Those two titles alone could keep me busy and occupied and happy, right? If I was of that kind of gamer for like 3 to 4 months, maybe even 6 months. At that point, you can make the argument that it's better for me to just buy those games out individually because the other hundreds of games in the Game Pass library, I wouldn't be playing them. That's it. So it's not worth it. It really isn't. Not to me anyway. Again, if you're one of those people that are playing 5 games at a time, or you're one of those people that have lots and lots of time on your hands and you can play like $30 or 30 hours every single week or more, hey, power to you, man. Have fun. Is $3 sign cool? My feelings are so hurt. How would I ever manage? I don't know. Turns on Xbox to play the game. Hey, you know what? Go for it. It's an option just like on PlayStation. That is true. I personally don't use Game Pass. I've tried it. I would just buy a game if I really wanted. Hey, I can support it. What are you getting on PlayStation Plus? Aside from price increase, PlayStation Stars shutting down. What am I getting on PlayStation Plus? Games. I got Dave the Diver recently. Really, really enjoyed that. And this whole year, I decided that I wouldn't wouldn't buy any brand new game. And instead, I worked through my back catalog, including the games that I got from PlayStation Plus Extra and Essential. So that's what I'm getting out of it. So yeah, I can go for like a year or two without ever buying a brand new game again, and I will still be fine, and I will still not be halfway through my Game Pass. My Game Pass, my my Game Pass catalog, my PlayStation Plus catalog, plus my own personal catalog of games that I still have and I still haven't played. Simply because, again, not enough time in the day. And also, sometimes you don't feel like playing certain types of games. Like at the moment, I'm really trying to avoid playing anything graphically intensive. Let's have another tangent, guys. Let's talk a little bit about that. I feel at the moment, like with all of these rumors of PlayStation 5 Pro not backing off, let's be kind and let's say that they've got something cooking there. Let's say that, more and more evidence is kind of hinting to the fact that the PlayStation 5 Pro is coming. And I can wait to play games, right? So my thing is, if the PlayStation 5 Pro is coming this holiday, I would like to get it this holiday. And then I would also like to have a lot of games to play on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Games like Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Stellar Blade, those kind of things. So at the moment, again, I have a lot of games that I have in my backlog already. And I already decided at the start of the year that I wouldn't buy any new games this year. And I'm pretty happy with that decision still. Really happy with it, in fact. So now I'm kind of the mind where even the games that I have access to, I'm kind of trying to minimize how many of them I play on the PlayStation 5 standard now. And I'm going to see if things pan out for the PlayStation 5 Pro. If they do, perhaps I would just save up a lot of those games to just experience on PlayStation 5 Pro. Because, of course, one of the biggest talking points when the Pro comes out will be, hey, what are you going to play on this? You've already played all of the games that you wanted to play this year, blah, blah, blah. Well, here's the thing. I haven't played those games, So now, I didn't do it at the start of the year thinking about the PlayStation 5 Pro, right? And even now, I'm not doing it. It would just be a good coincidence. Because now I'm thinking there could be a world where the Pro comes out, I buy it, and then I will be able to now, launch Stellar Blade, launch Horizon Forbidden West, of course, my favorite game, relaunch Spider-Man 2, perhaps they'll have a DLC, but even if they don't, I would love to go through another run of it. Relaunch Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank, and all these games that I've already played, but also a lot of new games that I haven't played yet. I just have a great time with the Pro. So, yeah, now I'm actually thinking about, let me get all of the indie games that I'm interested in out of the way, because I don't think they are going to see any tremendous performance. Like Dave the Diver, loved Dave the Diver, played it for about 60 plus hours on the Portal mostly, actually, loved it. But that game is not going to improve. It's not going to benefit from a PlayStation 5 Pro. Like, it's like, what are they going to do? Maybe they could add a 120 hertz mode if it's not already 120 hertz, but that doesn't change the gameplay. That's not going to do anything. So I'm actually thinking at the moment, let me focus on all of the indie and smaller type experiences, things like the Life is Strange, things like that. I think I'm going to focus on those, kind of saving the big, heavy AAA cinematic bangers for later. And then that way I can revisit, or I can explore for the first time those games. So let me guys. That's that is how I speak now. No, let me know what you guys think about this. So that's my thought. Okay, so what is every other subscription? Okay, I'm just gonna skip over the whataboutisms. They're just boring now. Like, everybody just increase. Oh, what about PlayStation Plus? What about Netflix? What about Amazon Prime? What about all of these? Bro, are we talking about them? Why don't you just start a thread and talk about those then? Like, why are you coming to me and talking about this? Like, what am I supposed to do? Answer you? Like, this is just getting annoying now. Okay, technically the first thing they did was throw Diablo 4 on Game Pass. Good for them. PlayStation fans are so funny. PlayStation Plus charges you more for hardware and software while value decreases and you're cool with it. Game Pass goes up in proportion to the value increase, and that's bad. Did they charge you more for hardware? Oh yeah, they did increase the price on like the PlayStation Plus digital edition. But again, price increases are not interesting to me. Like, if you didn't think it was worth the extra $50, don't pay for it. Like, whatever. I don't care. By that point, I easily already have my PlayStation 5, and I'm never going to get a digital-only console because that's stupid. Tying yourself to only one storefront, which is Sony. Are you dumb? Like, no, you should never do that. Even if you are a digital-only gamer, you should always buy the physical edition. At least you give yourself the option in case you want to. Did Game Pass go up in proportion to the value increase? I guess that's up to the individual again. I don't think it did, but whatever. I subbed to Game Pass. I kept my Xbox Live account alive even when not using it, but so many claim Microsoft was the only consumer advocate preservation focused company. In discussion, I will be shut on when calling them out for bootlicking in co-op. This was all inevitable. See, this one is a real fan. The first thing they did was roll out a huge AAA roadmap for the next 2.5 years. What does that have to do with you? Like, they can roll out a huge AAA roadmap for the next 20 years. You're still paying now. You're not gonna. Could they like charge you when that roadmap is completed? No, you're gonna make you pay now in anticipation for that roadmap. Like, well, you're just silly. I'm just gonna skip this. They didn't increase last year when PlayStation did. So I actually playing catch up with the market and not increasing due to the merger. I guess this is a valid argument if you say like, hey, they were going to increase the prices anyway, and that has nothing to do with the merger. I think it's a hard argument to make, but it is an argument that is actually, kind of relevant to the question. So, you know what? I'm going to give you a like. At least you tried to answer what I was talking about. Okay, stick to taking your pictures. Thank you. I do take amazing pictures. Photographer. Imagine still perpetuating console wars in 2024. I don't even know who is perpetuating console wars. I didn't even mention like Xbox or anything, or tag anything, or say that Game Pass is bad or whatever, or PlayStation is better. Literally didn't say anything. I still love Game Pass, to be honest. I don't care. That is such a good position to have, by the way. Just saying that you don't care what other people think is great. If you like it, love it. Shout out to you using market cap value to push an agenda. I like that. Push an agenda. What agenda have I pushed? Like, who is it that agrees with me and they are now what? And then I'm protesting because of my tweet. Like, bro, come on. You can't just keep using all of this charged language for no reason. The FTC means this is a harmful practice for them, right? Because it means other smaller companies can compete. If you're dropping a small indie game on Xbox, might as well do it through Game Pass so more people know about it. That's a harm, right? Or is it in regards to PSN? I have no idea what this is actually saying. There is a separate conversation that could be had about the fact that Xbox has been so focused on Game Pass that now, as an indie company, if you are not on Game Pass, you're nothing. Yeah, like it's either Game Pass or die as far as the green side is concerned. So that could be interesting. But it's on the conversation now. I'm not sure what PSN will have to do with it. Is it because PlayStation also raised their prices and people like to point that out? Maybe, but again, I'm not. It's whatever. Just say you're broke and can't afford $3 more, bro. I mean, first of all, unfortunately, bro, I'm feeling broke. I'm not sure if I am broke, but I'm definitely feeling it. Second of all, can't afford $3 more, bro. I couldn't even afford any dollars before because I was never interested in Game Pass. So for me, it's not $3 more; it'd be $20 more because I have to start from paying nothing to paying for whatever. The point is, it was never a value to me, so $3 more certainly doesn't help. But $3 less wasn't going to matter either because, again, I don't have an Xbox console. And after them putting all of the games on PlayStation, again, why would I go and pay for an Xbox if I can have those games on PlayStation? I was tempted to do it before, admittedly, because I kind of... There's something intriguing in experiencing what two of the gaming titans have to offer. You know, like I know what Xbox offers in theory, and I've played Xbox Series X before, but I haven't lived with it day in and day out. And honestly, at the prices I was finding on Facebook Marketplace, bro, it was very tempting. Like $300 for but this is Australian dollars, so that would be like $200 in the US. But yeah, $300, $350 for Australia, yeah, for an Xbox, bro, really good price. At that point, it's like you may as well just to avoid the PC. Like honestly, it's worth it. I would spend $300 on an Xbox to avoid playing those games that I wanted to on PC. But again, now that you make Game Pass all of this money, yeah, it's not worth it. And I mean, you could say, oh, why don't you buy the Xbox and then buy the game anyway? But again, I don't want to start an Xbox collection of games. I don't want to see Xbox games around my house. Like, no, I don't want to see. I don't want to see that. So, yeah, I'm not gonna go invest in the Xbox ecosystem like that. Like, I want to be a visitor to the town, but I don't want to live in it, and I don't want to have any souvenirs. Like, if I explored like Xbox Town, I don't want to bring anything back with me. Like, I'm going to wipe my you know, as soon as I come home, I'm not even going to go home. I'm going to go to the laundromat. I'm going to throw away my shoes, throw away my shirts. I'm going to change into some clean linen so I can walk into a PlayStation house with, you know, no impurities on me. I don't want to see anything Xbox in my house. The only thing that I would tolerate is a controller, because I think it's actually a pretty good controller. It doesn't have the features, but, you know, it's a pretty good controller. The D-pad is messed up, but aside from that, it's a pretty good controller, you know. And a symmetric stick layout is not my favorite. In fact, I think it's really garbage, but again, it's fine. Aside from that, it's a good I mean, it doesn't have batteries, so you have to like fill your batteries yourself. You have to provide your own batteries, which is stupid in this day and age, and you can't recharge it directly unless I just play and charge kits. But aside from those huge flaws, the Xbox Series controller is pretty good, so I could tolerate that. But it's also, I guess it's a good thing that it can use AA batteries, like it's a 1998 product, because then I can just shove it in a drawer and I never have to see it. And if I had an Xbox, like I wouldn't put that on my on my entertainment center or unit or whatever. I'd put that behind this like I hide that behind like where all of the cable clutter is. That's what I put. I just chuck it in there because it's a disgusting box, and I wouldn't want to see it. Like I don't mind experiencing it to avoid PC, but I'm not gonna like want to look at it. Like, no. And I could just, with the Xbox ecosystem, the good thing is that no Xbox is required to be seen. They should you can just chuck it in the back somewhere, and then you never have to think about the fact that you have an Xbox product in your house. So that's why I was considering it. So, anyways, not really, because this game prices go up. It's not because of the deal. Do you think it went up because of the deal? That's not the fact. I think it did go up because of the deal. I do. If you have Ultimate and can't afford the $3 price hike, could you really afford Ultimate in the first place? Probably not. You're right. That's a good question for people that have Ultimate. You are right. I'll cancel my Game Pass sub and go to PS Plus. Sure, they have better deals. Okay. Cool. They give you the game trial on Persona 3 Reload. I've gotten mixed messaging around Persona 3 Reload, by the way. Is it Persona 3 or Persona 4? And then they kind of had a version where you could play as a female character, but then that version isn't a remastered version. There's something weird and iffy going on there. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me coming from Atlas, where they will actually create the ultimate version that people always wanted, and then they will charge you full price again, because that's who they are, scumbags. So I was never going to support Persona 3 on any platform. I just, nah. A whole bunch of gifts over here. It's like a $3 increase. Relax. I am extremely relaxed, especially today. Jesus. I'm so poor, I can't afford $3. What is me? What is thing? I'm so sorry, mate. I hope that you get... I hope that your situation improves and you can afford the $3. You do realize that the majority of people on Game Pass have the ultimate plan. The only people getting stung is the basic plan. That is an interesting factoid. I didn't know that the majority of people had the ultimate plan. I guess that's the one that kind of really always made the most sense. But that's interesting. Is that true? Because if that's true, I like that, because that means that for the most people, then it will only be the $3 increase that everybody keeps saying. And in that case, you can really see the argument that they're making, that, hey, it's not that big a deal. I could understand that. I didn't know that the majority of people had an ultimate. I would think that the majority of people will have Xbox Game Pass Core, because that's the one you need for multiplayer. But hey, you know what? Let me not like this, because I feel like unless I see proof, I don't know. We see here. Can you offer a link? Okay. So yeah, if he offers me a link that proves that most people are on Ultimate, then I will give him that like back, because you shouldn't encourage bad behavior. Too many liars in these communities. Okay. I'm confused. It's not like I'm paying more for less, like another sub-service on another console. I don't even know what to do with that. Because you gotta pay $20 to play the game. They look silly. Yeah, because you could just buy the game and whatever. Lol, what has changed? People used to pay $7 for COD, can still do so. That's true. Okay. We all knew prices were going to increase, okay? And we all knew this was an experiment to see if streaming worked with games. Okay. So we knew we were going to be strong, so that you shouldn't complain about it. Okay, cool. If $2, why did they say $2? Okay. It's not $2. Oh, my bad. I am sure Microsoft makes business decisions based on my tweets. Noted. Okay. Cool for you. I don't know. It's probably more annoying than anything with the name changes. That is another thing that's confusing. At least the publisher's titles are all being added to a service, which created a price increase. My PlayStation Plus has gone up twice with literally no value added. That is a good point about PlayStation Plus. If you guys have not seen the value added in PlayStation Plus, yeah, it's a good time to start questioning it, and it's a good time to just get rid of it if it doesn't provide that value for you. We don't look silly. We look like people that are getting Activision games on Game Pass, but for an increased price, bro, like, again, it's fine. If you can't afford an extra $3 a month, just say so, bro. Bro, in this environment, can any of us really afford an extra $3 a month? Like, bro, am I the only one? I would love to pay $3 less on everything per month. Like, bro, everything. Just like let me tell you, I would love if Netflix and Disney Plus and everything else was $3 cheaper. Matter of fact, I would love it if my fuel was like 30 cents per liter cheaper than it currently is. So listen, at this point, bruh, it's terrible. PlayStation gave it to everyone raw when they upped their prices, and it was a pretty big increase. No one cried. Trust me, bro, that is such a lie. There were so many people that were upset at the PlayStation Plus price increase, especially people on PlayStation. Yeah, like honestly, people keep saying that somehow people didn't complain and everything. You take a look at Jay Barry, for example, an account, and a person that I really respect and enjoy in these gaming circles. Jay Barry made many videos about this particular issue. I'm pretty sure so did Persona. I'm pretty sure they talked about it on What's Up PlayStation, and that was just like a few of the people that I follow. A lot of people were shocked and really upset with those price increases. So that's just BS. At the end of the day, though, you take a look at all the amount of backlash that they gave to Sony, and it changed nothing. That's why, for me, I'm not that interested in having that particular conversation about price increases. Even Netflix, I don't really talk about Netflix price increases, or Disney Plus, or all of the other services that people said before, because at a certain point, I just made my decision. Is it still worth it? Yes. Is it not worth it? No. And then I just move on ahead, because again, to a person that finds value in it, what are you gonna do? You're gonna like what, tie their hands and be like, you're not allowed to buy this service? No. And if enough of them do, I mean, take a look at microtransactions. I hate microtransactions, and yet games are making billions of dollars a year with microtransactions. Like, boy, what am I supposed to do? Okay. Let's see. Check. Oh, now all the infinite monies are nowhere to be found. Hey, listen, even infinite needs to be replenished, right? Check Microsoft's response. One, inflation sucks and it's still happening. Okay. So they raise the prices. When you have to subscribe to two services of the lower tier to get day one and multiply, the new ultimate price is still cheaper, I guess. With also the price increase coming, it sucks, but the ultimate deal is still pretty worth it, in my opinion. Fair enough. You can try a $60 plus game for $20 if you don't like it. Try another one that costs 60 plus, but you don't have to pay. Again, if you're using Game Pass as a game trial service, I think the value is still there. Like, it's great. Like, for example, if you try Avowed and you're like, I'm not really, messing with this. If you try Call of Duty and you're like, oh, I really love it, then instead of continue to pay for Game Pass, you just go out and buy it. And let's say that when Call of Duty comes out, you go and you get Game Pass for 1 month, and then you try 15 games, and then you note down those games. And out of those 15, there's 5 that you really, really like, and you decide, I'm going to go and buy those. There's a good chance that not all of them will still be at full price. You could still, make a lot of, kind of like a good return on investment, because you just tried a whole bunch of games, and then you can just buy them at whatever prices you think they are worth it to you. So just because you find a game like, let's say Avowed, let's say you really love Avowed, you can still choose to like not play day one. You can still choose like, hey, you know what? Emmanuel is right. I'm gonna wait until this game has a DLC, that it has a complete package, and then I'm gonna buy it when it's at $10 at the store. There you go. So hey, you know what? I agree with this. And they say that it's pretty worth it in their opinion, which is, again, it's all good because you're not describing. First thing, no, they gave us games plus. Hasn't Sony raised the prices? Bro, what is with this whataboutism? Like, is this like a product of our environment nowadays, that people can't make arguments for or against their own point? They have to use whataboutisms every single time. It's kind of tiring, bro. Big jump in prices in some European countries this week for games and subs. Okay, explain to me what the problem is. I guess this whole video will answer it. Who got stung? I stacked for 3 years. Hey, I like your hustle. Well done. Judging from these comments, gamers are still corporate shows that will say anything to take for the corporate overlords. Hey, listen, man, it's hard to argue against that, man. It's hard to argue against it. Hey, I don't give a F about COD, but it's still a good deal. I can give that a like. It's not a degraded product though. It includes gold, okay, which the previous Game Pass version of Game Pass did not. I don't even own an Xbox, and I can see this hate is so forced. I don't think this is hate. I don't think I hated it. Okay. Lol, Microsoft said, and then over here they have a link to the Scorpion. I should have just found this comment and then played this video for you. Okay, this isn't about the price rise. It's about the multi-tier setup. It's not removal day 1,000 on those tiers. It's all of it at once. Yeah, that could be another argument. That could be another argument. Bro, but you didn't care when another company upped the prices on you and doesn't provide day one on any of the tiers when they did it. Like I said, oh, I made a video about this. Right, yeah. A medium-sized shrug. I like it. You know? I like it. Because, yeah, that's what I've been saying this entire time. I don't really care about price increases. I still support this deal regardless. Go for it. Good for you. Acting as if Sony is not a $1 trillion company. They're not. I mean, they aren't. They're not $1 trillion company. I think they're $1 billion company, but certainly not $1 trillion company. And by the way, the difference between $1 billion and $1 trillion is staggering. It's like 1,000 times. That's why there's only like 4 or 5 $1 trillion companies in the world, which, by the way, there probably shouldn't be any. Like, let's be honest. A lot of these companies, they don't get there with like the best practices in mind, not for the consumers, not for the employees, at least not for the, everyday person, janitors and people on the front line of the companies. Usually they just get there by inflating the people on the board and CEOs and C-suite executives and everything like that. But they get there with like shady practices, like, all of those sweatshops that they have running across the world for the textile industry, and all of those, Foxconn's deals that they make for the tech industry. Like, let's face it, these $1 trillion companies, if they were to pay everybody a fair wage for what they did throughout the entire product stack, they'll probably lose half of the valuation, because they would then have to actually pay living wages to people. So I don't think that we should be wishing that Sony was a $1 trillion company. I certainly don't wish for it, but they are not a $1 trillion company. That had been screwing Xbox players over for roughly a decade in regards to COD. How were they screwing Xbox players? How? That makes no sense. I'm glad Microsoft bought Activision. The only flaw is being too soft and not making COD an Xbox PC exclusive. Listen, I wish that Microsoft had made Call of Duty an Xbox, not PC, but Xbox exclusive. I think that would have revitalized the fight and just the fight, just the competition between Xbox and PlayStation, because PlayStation would then have to, offer better value to their customers and everything like that. I think there should have been an Xbox exclusive. Fuck PC. Nah, they shouldn't be included. Ironic. Sony actively, I think that's what I should say, gouges its player base, and you don't say a word. That's what apparently I said 1, 2, 3, 4 words at least. So that's a lie. Come on. Microsoft upholds its agreements and promises to deliver greater value to the player for less, and it's end of world time. Do you like bending over for Sony, or is it just habit by now? People with these like weird whatever, don't even want to honor that. I'm disappointed in myself that I even read it. I'm happy with what Xbox is offering. Did you think Sony stung you when they raised the prices and added nothing? Yeah, I did. But like the person say who stacked a Game Pass for 3 years, like, bro, I'm not like Smithy says over here, I don't have to deal with that sting for another 1.5 years, roughly, give or take. So I'm gonna care then when I actually have to when I'm forced to confront that particular decision. So anybody that has Game Pass stacked until like 2032 or whatever, some people have it stacked years out. Hey, listen, you're good. You're Gucci. Like, wait until you get there and then see if you actually care about it. So it is Over here, cough at Grams cough. I have Grams blocked. I think he's a grifter. I think he's bad for the gaming conversation. I first came across his account when he made the whole Starfield. I think he was the one that made the Starfield comment talking about the start screen and everything. And I thought it was funny. That was my first interaction with him. I thought it was funny because I thought people took his comment way out of proportion. Like, of course, it was just silly and everything. It ended up being right, which was also ironic that it was a garbage game anyway. But then it went into this whole deplorable nonsense that he's been doing this whole time. So I'm not interested in that account or him, and I don't stand by the things that he says. It was one thing to make fun of lock screens, but then when you're attacking people, you are calling everything DEI, everything is woke, everything is this, everything is that. You're just generating anger in people, and you're just generating hate towards others. I don't know. It's like, it's not funny anymore. You know, make fun of his start screen. That's funny. You know, but hopefully you're not calling the start screen DEI or woke or anti-this or anti-Christ or, you know, whatever it is these people try to get away with, and you're just inciting a fan base to rage. Nah. So please don't tag him in my thread. I'm not interested in having this kind of persona around. Okay, by raising the prices on a service that was very cheap to begin with. Okay, cool. Hey Goofy, most of us already knew about this. I don't know why you want to view this as a gotcha moment. Okay. The deal is still great. Ponies are like the FTC, always trying to find something wrong. Okay? Yep, they F me 360 sideways. You know what? At least you know. Okay, over here we have some other comments that were hidden by Twitter because of whatever reason. Companies are going to be companies that buy other companies. The fuck you think you're complaining going to do? Absolutely fucking nothing. That's what. Spend your time better. Boy, you are literally coming to a random adult to tell them to spend their time better. Do you take your own advice? What did he reply? I'm doom scrolling at 2 a.m. I saw a stupid comment and replied to it. Only spoke the truth and sorry yo, I may handle it. Okay. I don't. Again, I'm like, I find it strange when people are like, oh, why are you complaining about this on the internet? You should be doing better things. And I'm like, but then why are you complaining about my complaining if you find that complaining is pointless anyway? So, like, that's weird. That's hypocritical. Apparently somebody thought I have a really nice profile picture and then they did this, but I don't even like the font of this. I've seen these bots kind of make it going around, and they usually use like way better fonts. Okay. The FTC have twisted facts to push a bad faith narrative and everything. Again, you see, this is the kind of thing that I don't like. I don't like this kind of like comparisons where you're taking the face of someone and then you're trying to like make her look like in an unfavorable way comparing to a character. I just feel like you can disagree with people without trying to make fun of their appearance or trying to mock them in this way. So I don't like that. You know, like I disagree with a lot of guys here. I think a lot of guys that came to this comment were saying like a lot of stupid things, but you don't see me like click on the profile and be like, oh, this is what you look like. Like, come on. We don't need to debase ourselves or the conversation that way. This guy must have been watching a different court proceeding than the rest of us. I wasn't watching the court proceedings, thankfully. Jesus Christ. Okay. So then there's all those who support this are looking saying now you better for this, and those who support to the fall. Oh, come on, guys, get out of my screen. Jesus Christ. Damn, stop BS kid, blah blah blah. You're a console warring corporate shield. You all look silly. Play games, not plastic. I never understood this comment. You know, the whole "these are plastic boxes" comment. Never understood them because I'm like, I mean, sure, they are plastic boxes. I'm pretty sure that like the circuit board is printed on something that is like akin to plastic, isn't it? Something. So I guess we've all been playing plastic boxes. Like, which one of you isn't playing through a plastic thing? Like, most of your mice are made of plastic, keyboards made of plastic, controllers made of plastic. So when you say don't play plastic, you mean don't play video games? Like, that's a strange thing to say. You know, even phones have plastic in it. So yeah, that's weird. As far as being a console warring, like, what console war did I start? Bro. Not if you already pay for Ultimate. Fair enough. What is stupid take? I'm still supporting no more beta update or skin exclusivity shit. I guess this is like a good point for people who felt that PlayStation having the marketing deal for Call of Duty was somehow impeding on their enjoyment, especially if they're on Xbox. In which case, I would say just play on PlayStation. They've got everything you want. Just play there. I'm blessed to have a good paying job. Oh man, I'm so happy for you actually. So I'm okay with the price fight. Bound to happen during these economic times. By the way, I wasn't being sarcastic. I'm happy for you. So many people out here are not able to find good paying jobs. So it's great. How you felt typing Scorpion to the frog? Oh man, listen, this just seems racist. I'm just gonna scroll past it. Tissue box again. By Carl James. Such an intelligent conversation. Still supported douche. Oh, why are people so mean? People are so mean on the internet. You literally don't even invite them and they just come with their attacks. That's crazy. Call of Duty is going to Game Pass. Everybody knew the price was going to go up. Again, it's the whole. We knew it was going to happen. Therefore, don't talk about it. Okay. Look, a lot of these comments are just getting like a little bit mean spirited, and I feel like there isn't much more good. Unfortunately, Twitter sometimes hides really good comments as well. Everyone who says PlayStation or but Sony or any variation of that talking about anything other than Microsoft are just shields. The topic is Microsoft and what they're doing. It's not Sony and what they are doing. Why can't bots ever stick to a subject matter? What about isms? Hey, that's been a big issue, and I feel like out of all of that, that's gonna be it. Now, that was a long thread, okay? And it's happened a few times where I've wanted to kind of like make a video to answer a Twitter thread, like in totality. And I think we covered most of it. I still don't know what in this thread actually made it go to like 100,000 views. I honestly don't think that this tweet was worth 100,000 views. I'm not sure how people think that I tweet, but when I tweet, I hardly ever think about tweeting more than maybe being seen by 100 people, just incidentally because they happen to follow me and it goes past the timeline. I never try really to create a lot of like drum up a lot of excitement behind my tweets. Most of my tweets, I don't even tag anything in it. Sometimes I tag a particular like PlayStation or Xbox, but usually I do that more so as a reminder to myself to be like, oh, if you want to come back to this, just use this tag. Therefore, you'll be able to find this tweet a little bit easier a few years down the line. And that's usually what I tag it for. So yeah, this one though, no, not a single tag in it. I suppose I did quote tweet a fairly popular account, but lots of people quote tweeted this particular thing. Like over here, it has a 1,000 reposts or something like that. I'm not sure how to find how many quotes it has, but I'm sure that this particular post had lots and lots of quotes. So over here it says view quotes. So let's see how many of them did it have. A lot. You can see here that it had a lot of quotes. So I don't know why mine went further into the algorithm. I don't know why people think I was console warring. I really don't understand it. So anyways, it is what it is. The internet works in mysterious ways because sometimes I just think that you just get quote unquote lucky and you just suddenly see like a lot of traffic driven your way. So anyways, that's it, guys. If you like this presentation, this kind of like let's deep dive into a Twitter thread and be like, let's see what the people are saying. Let me know in the comments. I don't even know if this was interesting or entertaining or anything at all. So I don't know if you liked it. I have no idea. I can't imagine that you would because it was like over 2.5 hours. But it's been one of the things. It's been on my mind for about a week now, and I just wanted to make the video. So I'm gonna put it out, and it's probably gonna have 35 views if it gets lucky, and that will be that on that. But to all you 35 people that are watching my video, thank you for having watched it. If you stayed all the way through the 2.5, I hope that you had me at like 1.25 or 1.75 speed, or 1.5 speed or 3 times speed. I hope you shortened it somehow, and I hope that somehow, some way you managed to find something exciting or enlightening. Maybe it was one of the tangents, so to you 35 people, if there was one of those tangents where I talked about no need to buy day one games, or kind of the lack of enthusiasm that I feel about buying day one games, whether I talked about the fact that I think that the console generation should be 10 years longer, should I talk about Concord and how I'm feeling about it right now? I feel that there isn't enough out for me to make a full decision on it, so I'm not sure if I could give you more insight into that, or any of the other tangents that I went on, and you're like, hey, Emmanuel, talk about that. You know what? I'm going to read your comment, and I am going to probably not make a video about it because that's what I usually do. But maybe I will. Maybe life will give me a little bit of time and I will make a video about your comment because it is relevant to it, something that we talked about today. And then that will be that. In the meantime, enjoy the Olympics. I'm pretty sure the Olympics have started. I didn't watch the opening ceremony, so I'm going to have to go and kind of watch it on YouTube and see what that was about. But yeah, enjoy gaming, you know. Get a PlayStation Portal. I think you'll like it more than you think you will. Go on Facebook Marketplace. Find a unit from somebody that still has the original invoice. Get it. If you don't like it, maybe you can return it to the store and then you can get the money back from it anyway. Or maybe you can gift it on to somebody else. I think that the PlayStation Portal is now a device that I would actively recommend now that I've had it for a while. So I really, really enjoy it. At the moment, what am I playing? I was playing Evil West, Evil West a few days ago. And I was kind of enjoying it, but it definitely shows you that it is kind of like a God of War-ish kind of clone. Like it has a lot of like properties or mechanics that are similar in God of War, but it doesn't have any of the refinement. And it just shows you the difference between an elite developer and kind of a more average developer is that it's just the fine-tuning of things. There's just something incredibly not fine-tuned about Evil West. So, oh, and also the HDR presentation is completely off. It's just completely garbage. So in any case, I've been playing Evil West, but I think I'm gonna go and give up on that, and I'm gonna enter my Life is Strange phase because I want to pretty much run through all of the Life is Stranges, but from the beginning again. It's just a matter of time. And at the moment, I'm reading a book, The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I read it years and years ago because I keep remembering moments in it. However, I can't remember the plotline for the life of me. So it's been so long that I've forgotten pretty much everything. So it's a pretty big book, and there's a whole trilogy of them. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get much gaming done in the next few weeks. I think I'm just gonna enter my reading phase, and I'm just gonna read these books and try to finish out this trilogy. And yeah, that's where my life's gonna take me. So a little bit of time off from the games, from the PlayStation. As far as the gaming community, what are we talking about right now? I don't think that the gaming conversation is that interesting at the moment. I've got to tell you. You know, you have a lot of jaded fans. You know, a lot of jaded PlayStation fans that are complaining every single day. Oh my God! Yes, the PlayStation 5 is the worst generation I ever created. Blah blah blah. Okay, whatever. I think it's just nonsense. Like honestly, it's getting to the point where I think they're just grifters themselves. Like honestly, I don't see how you can have a genuine opinion that this generation hasn't been anything but phenomenal. I think it absolutely has been. Whether that you look at first party games or third party games or exclusives of any sort, you know, nowadays they want to triage what's acceptable and what's not. Like, oh, it's a third party exclusive. Oh no, it's a second party game. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. And yet, if you do that to the PlayStation 4 generation, it basically had nothing. You know, you guys have seen the video that Podorok did on it, and he established it quite well. If you were to take away all of the other exclusives that are anything but first party from the PlayStation 4, they only released like 9 titles over the entire generation. It's like, bro, you're joking. So, in any case, the gaming conversation from that perspective is not interesting to me at the moment. Lots of people waiting and having hopium for the next September showcase because apparently that's what we care about now. We're not gamers anymore. We don't care if they give us games. We care if they give us showcases. So I guess we're showcases now. Whatever. I'm not interested in that. Lots of people kind of looking forward to the Pro. I still don't believe in. I just cannot bring myself to believe in these insiders. That's the way to disappointment. But you know what? If they are right, props to them. Great, fantastic. At the end of the day, whether I know about it or whether I don't, it's gonna come out on the exact same day. Okay, so at the end of the day, whether I believe in the PlayStation 5 Pro or not will not make it come any closer. So I'm not interested in talking about the Pro or whatever leaked specs or rumors or RDNA 4, RDNA 5, whatever the hell. I'm not interested in that. So the gaming conversation at the moment, I think, is kind of in a lull. It really is. Even the whole Microsoft conversation, it's whatever. I think it was worth making a point about the whole Game Pass thing and them taking away day one from Game Pass, because again, that is in direct contradiction to a showcase that they had just a few weeks before. That's what makes it worse. But aside from that, I don't really think that gaming as a trend has had any hot flashpoint moment that is actually worth talking about. I suppose there's Concord, but I just gave you my thoughts on Concord before. Again, just in case you haven't seen my entire video, I'm going to summarize it very quickly. I think that Concord will find its niche if Sony sticks with it. I do not believe, however, that they will be a massive success right out of the gate like Helldivers 2, but I also do not believe that it will be a complete flop like Foam Stars or Destruction All Stars. So that's where I am at. I think at the moment, if it comes out really well, it will be a 6 to a 7 out of 10. And then maybe with a little bit of time, they can refine that product to be an 8 or a 9 out of 10. But again, $40 to enter, no battle pass. Let's see what the microtransaction stores is looking like and all of the player progression of the things that are available. Because if that package is looking good and they're really faithful, boy, I think I'm gonna get in there because I could use a multiplayer shooter. I could really use one. My last big one was Rogue Company. That thing is dead now, but I put 800 hours plus into it. So, boy, I've been pining. I've been pining for a good shooter that isn't a Call of Duty, that isn't something where is going to just want to suck all the money out of me, where it has black playable characters looking at you first descendant. Yeah, I think. I think Concord is looking like my next purchase, and yes, I'm thinking about making an exception for the game in order to buy it this year. So we'll see what happens. But all of that being said, y'all have a great day.